Hey everyone, voice reveal I guess? Anyways, this is the first video to my new Drawing Your OC series. Rules on how to submit an OC are in the description below. It's free and you're always welcome to request one. By the way, I want to thank all of my subscribers. Genuinely, I didn't really think I'd get this many, but my channel has grown so much in the 3 months since I posted the video that got me recognized. Thank you so much everyone. I appreciate you all. Now on to the video. Today, I'm drawing a wolf-human hybrid upon request from Anonymous. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or by accident, but they didn't give me a name to call them by or the name of their OC. Right now, I'm just doing a bit of sketching so I can make it look nice. It isn't too great to be this rigid during the sketching stage, but I don't draw full-color drawings most of the time, so it's not really my area of expertise. You know, drawing this OC was actually really fun. I think this was a good OC to start off this new series with, because they have a basic design, but it's still interesting. I really like the red color scheme that this character has going on. It's really funky, in my opinion. A little helpful tip for beginner artists: you can definitely cheat when you can't draw the other eye. You just copy, paste, and flip, and then edit how you want the eye to look. It's pretty simple, and I do it way too often. Sometimes drawing the other eye is hard. By the way, for the person who submitted this OC, I love the little bandage that this character has on the nose. Like, my favorite kind of characters are reckless characters, and it just makes it 10 times better when they have a bandage somewhere on their body. It's just I like that little detail that a lot of reckless characters like this one has. Right now, I am drawing the clothes. I really wish I would have worked more on the anatomy of this character because it sort of looks a bit wonky. Sorry for that. But overall, I think I did pretty well considering that I almost never sketch when I do drawings. I mean, I never do full color drawings either, so there's a first for everything. But yeah, right now, I'm just sketching. It's not too interesting. My sketching isn't that different from most other people's. I will also be answering questions in between talking. So, here's the first question. Kono Koichida asks, how many OCs do you have? Well, I have a lot of OCs, but if we're just counting, my main OCs, the ones that I still use regularly, then I have about 28 altogether. Hannah, Tyler, Danny, Jack, Virus, and Sebastian from a story I've kept since I was little, all of my flavor mares, aka fan OCs of Nightmare Sands, yes, I still like Undertale, all 4 Riverton boys, Mercury, Zinnia, Firm, and Storm all in the story together, Vincent and Terry from one of my animation memes, and that's about it. Right now, as you can see, I am just working on the line art. My line art is really nothing special, but if you guys want to know the kinds of brush I use, they're very, very simple brushes. I just use a regular pen brush for most of my line art. Sometimes I use other brushes like the stipple pen, as you're gonna see here. But yeah, that's basically about it. I don't really use a lot of brushes very often. By the way, those animal ears were so fun to draw. I never draw them anymore. I have 4 OCs that are furries, but I haven't drawn them in such a long time. I almost forgot how to draw the animal ears. But yeah, they're really, really fun to draw. I like the little fuzzies that this character has in her ear. It's just so cute. Now I'm working on the clothes. Again, nothing too special about it, but sometimes when I draw wrinkles, I like to use a brush that's 1 point smaller than the one I was using for the rest of the line art, as you can see here. For this piece of art, I was using a 2-point pen brush for most of the drawing. But for some of the wrinkles, I use 1 point or erase some bits of the wrinkles just to make it have like a sort of look. I also outline a little bit of blocks of shading with a 1-point brush, just so that I have like an indicator of where the shading is going to go, since the 1 point doesn't really stand out in the finalized drawing anyways. So it's just like a helpful little guide tool for me when I can't figure out where to put the shading. I guess I'll answer another question. Russ Draws asks, who's your main OC? Do you have any pets? What's your favorite animation of yours? For my main OC, I'd have to say Asher from my Riverton Boys story. I had 3 beta fish. One of them died because he got stuck in the filter, but the other 2 are still alive. I also used to have a cat named Simba. He didn't die or anything, he just has a different owner now. And for my favorite animation I've made, I'd say the everyday meme with my characters Terry and Vincent. It took me a while to draw it all, and I'm super proud of it. Right now, I'm selecting the parts that I don't want to color, and then I'll invert it so that my base color will be light gray, since that's the color of the character's skin tone. As you can tell by the reference drawings in the back. Lovely reference drawings, by the way. I do love me some good old Simpson memes. Right now it's just flat coloring, so I'm just using a bucket tool. Since my line art is pretty clean, I don't need to worry about like having to draw everything in myself. The bucket tool pretty much does everything for me. Oh, by the way, with the bucket tool, a lot of people don't know this, but you can expand the bucket tool so that the little white spaces you get on your line work, they can get filled up easier. Sometimes you have to erase out the lines because it can be a little too much if you expand it too much, like what I did here. But other than that, it's actually super helpful, and I only found out about this from like a year or 2 ago from some YouTube video I watched on how to get better line art. I guess I'll answer another question. Bella Romo asks, how's your day? Did you drink water today? My day is going pretty okay, thank you. No, I forgot to drink water. Thanks for the reminder. It's so easy for me to forget to do that, so this is a little reminder to everyone watching to drink some water too if you haven't today. Right now I'm coloring the hair. I know I already mentioned this before, but I really do like the red color scheme that this character has going on. I especially love like the bright, like not bright, the dark red that is the character's hair. This is one of my favorite shades of red. It's just like, it just pops out so much, you know? Again, I'm just filling in some of the spaces that I missed. Not too much. Eye dropping some colors and stuff like that. I also really like the one pop of color that's her blue eye. I don't remember how they said she got that blue eye. They mentioned it in a part of her backstory, I believe. But they said it wasn't really anything serious, I don't think. It's just that she was being reckless and dumb, I think. I think that's what they said in the submission question when I asked about the character's backstory and personality and stuff. But yeah. I do really like that, like, one blue eye. It just gives the character a nice pop of color, you know? And those white tufts in her ear, I like the bright colors on the dark red. It really makes it all stand out, and I really, really like that. Should I answer another question? Oh, wait. Now I'm moving on to the shading. I did something different with the shading today for this video. I used a stipple pen, which some other art programs call it a spray paint brush, but Metabang Paint uses stipple brush. I didn't really like the stipple brush shading I used for this video. It was either that it just doesn't work with my art style, or that I just wasn't using it correctly, and it's most likely the latter. These hard lines of purple that I'm putting against the red jacket is the usual kind of shading I go for. I usually just use more defined lines for when it comes to my shading normally. And so I think I'll just go back to my regular shading for the next Draw Your OCs video, because the stipple shading wasn't really working out for me in this one. I mean, the end product still ended up looking good. It just was a hassle to work with. I didn't know where to put the shading at all. But yeah. Now I'll answer another question. Frying Pan Army asks, what's your favorite style of music? Do you speak any languages other than English or are learning any? Do you have a favorite TV show, anime, etc.? And what's your favorite holiday? I really enjoy alt-rock music. My favorite band is Mother Mother, if that tells you anything. If you count Duolingo lessons for learning another language, then yeah, I guess I'm learning Japanese and Chinese. I can also speak a bit of Spanish, but mostly at like a very, very basic level, like when you're taking your first Spanish lessons. My mom is always like, you're like the only Hispanic who can't speak Spanish. She gets annoyed by that, I think. I do have a few favorite animes. I can never pick just one. My top three are The Promised Neverland, My Hero Academia, and Death Note. And lastly, my favorite holiday. I don't really do holidays, but I really do like Christmas and Halloween. I went as Mikan Sumiki for Halloween this year, and my sister went as Angie Naga, and her friend was Fantasy Ochako Uraraka. Right now, I am working on the shading and highlights for the hair. I also tried something new with this. This entire video is just like an experiment with my style to see what I liked better. I hope you don't mind for the person that submitted this OC. I think I'll use this style for doing the hair for characters more often, because it really does look nice. Like the blocks of light for the highlights, I really do like that, and the dark shading that I used there was also a very nice touch. Now I'm going in with a bigger stipple brush just to add a bit of detail to the ears, make them a little bit more three-dimensional and stuff like that. Nothing too big, obviously. It's just a bit of shading here and there. Not too big of a deal. I wish more people would have sent me questions, because I already ran out of questions. I could go back and check the comments to see if anyone submitted anything new, but I don't feel like it right now. Also, I'm trying something new with the eyes. I do like the eyes very much, but I think I'll just go stick to my normal eyes that you guys will see in the next Draw Your OCs video, which should be out in another week or so. Because, you know, winter break and stuff, and I'm still a student and I have winter break, and, you know, I do want to do stuff like watch anime. But yeah. Also, the tail is so fluffy. I just love animal characters. I'm a bit of a furry. It's not a. I'm a furry weeb. That should say something about me, I think. But I do love like Neko and like wolf hybrids and stuff like that. Like, it's just so fun drawing them, and also I just think that I just really like the character designs for them. I wish they would be more like animalized rather than just like sticking an ears and tail on them. But I mean, it works either way, and I love the characters anyway. Right now, I'm adding some highlights. What I did for this was that I added a new layer above everything, and I set the layer to dodge and used a light orange stipple brush to highlight the areas that I wanted. I just wanted to emphasize that the character is backlit, so like she's leaning forward and the sun is shining on her back, so the character is backlit, which means that the shading should be in front of her. I also wanted the eyes to pop out more, so I erased some of the shading on her eyes. And now I'm moving on to the background. I don't usually draw backgrounds very often, so this series is gonna just help me get a lot of practice and a lot of well-needed practice, I must say. I don't draw full color drawings, I don't draw backgrounds, I don't experiment with these styles, so this series is definitely going to help me with that a lot. I love I found out through this that I love drawing clouds. They're so like fluffy and light, and I just I like that a lot. I think the stipple brush that I used was much better suited for the background rather than what I used for the shading for the character. Right now, I'm just working on the trees. I mean, it was super easy to draw the trees, but I think I'll try something new with trees if I ever get a character that has trees in the background. I think I'll just try something new because they kind of look a bit flat in the drawing despite all the shading and the highlights I put in. But I do really need to practice with backgrounds more often. I don't really draw them very much, as I've stated multiple times. Right now I'm adding a bit of white to make the background look faded, and a little bit of light to emphasize that the character is backlit, you know, just setting the layer to dodge and then add glow, and we are finally finished. This is the finished result of the drawing. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I'd also like to ask the person that submitted this OC to go back to the Google Forms submission and just add in their email so that I can send a clear copy to them. Remember, submissions are always open and it's free. Again, thank you everyone for watching this video.